Welcome to Product-Led Growth Leaders. I've got a cool guest on the show today, Usman Sheikh, and he is the CEO of XIQ, which is a AI platform for sales and marketing. I'm going to let him introduce himself because when I was prepping the notes for this show, I did not have the right Usman Sheikh. So tell us who you are, Usman.
Yeah, so I am the founder and CEO of a company based out of Silicon Valley called XIQ. We are an AI-powered platform for B2B sales and marketing. My background is prior to starting XIQ, I used to work at SAP, which is the world's largest B2B sales and marketing, largest B2B software company. And I worked for them almost 14 years. Prior to that, I had a company on my own. So I've had some ventures prior to XIQ. XIQ is a product, and it's a company that's really driven around the product and built around the product. That's our main source of revenue.
Okay, so let's dive into that. Let's take some time to unpack what makes your product what it is, right? So there's all kinds of marketing and sales products on the market today, and you're coming in from your angle. What's your angle, and what is the product that you're giving to the world?
Great question. So our angle is what makes us unique and distinct and different from every other platform is that we infuse psychology and behavioral science as an element in the AI. So we can now take how people think, how they like to be emotionally communicated to, how they like to be intellectually communicated to, and we add that to actual tangible business facts and figures and analysis that we can do. So what this translates into is that when salespeople, for example, have to write emails, these emails can become very, very personal. When they're coming up with call scripts to have with people, sales call scripts, these can be extremely individualized and personalized using words and ways of speaking that would resonate with your audience. And this makes us uniquely different. We use this AI, we combine behavioral science with AI, and we use this to help salespeople and marketing people come up with marketing campaigns, call scripts, prepare account plans, write emails, map the solutions that they have to the problems and challenges of their clients. All of this can be done through AI, and that AI and our platform, what is unique is that we've added this humanized element about who the person is that you're going to be selling or communicating with. It gives you a lot of personalization capabilities.
Okay, so thank you for sharing that. And not to give away your IP and what your secret sauce or anything, but I am very curious about the psychological part. That's very fascinating. Um, and the way you're describing it, I hear the LLM aspect of it, where people are doing all kinds of sales activities, it sounds like, and writing all of the emails and the communications, having an LLM help you out with that is very important. What about the behavioral science aspect of that? How is that slotting in? How is it that you're able to find and engineer that into your product as well?
Yeah, so just to give you an example, so XIQ has three unique databases. One database, as I mentioned, was this around behavioral science and psychology. Just to elaborate a little bit, because you asked, what we do is we tap into proven behavioral science methodology of DISC. DISC stands for Dominant, Influencing, Steady, and Conscientious. This is a personality assessment test similar to Myers-Briggs that people have taken in the past, and it tends to predict what your personality type is. What we've done is we've created an AI algorithm that picks up public data from the internet, analyzes it about an individual, and can predict how they would think, how they would behave, how they make decisions, how you want to communicate with them, right? We have one database that's that. So that's bringing the EQ part of the selling into the equation. Then we have a database that's about companies. Everything you wanted to know about a company, its news, its financials, its annual reports, its executives, what they're saying in the press, any videos released by them, what's happening about their products, their SWOT analysis, all of that is within the second database, which is around companies and industries. And then we have a third database, which where the clients can come in and upload their own content in there. So their white papers, their product briefings, their product specs, they can upload that. So now we have three distinct databases. And you, Thomas, come in and say, I want to write an email to Usman, me, and I want it to be about product, my podcast, and I want to introduce it to him. So what would happen is XIQ will go fetch information about how to communicate to Usman. What is the best way to write that email, the EQ part? It will go into the company, fetch information about the company, what's happening in the news and around the company. And then it will go into the product or the document database that you've uploaded and pull out information about yours. Using a large language model, it will be able to compose from these three unique, distinct databases a response that would be very appropriate.
Okay, so that helps clarify a lot of stuff. So, so let me unpack this so that you have essentially an LLM, and I don't know where one draws the line between LLM and a knowledge model versus a language model, and whether these databases can be considered a knowledge model. But so it goes beyond just the writing and how does the language come together, but it actually is trained on those three areas. There's the emotional intelligence that you have that's based on uh, the personality test. So you're taking stuff about the person and you're running it through batteries of established personality tests, and then you're coming out with certain facts on the other side of that. Then you're doing something maybe similar for on the company level and then on the product level. So this way, it's not going to be like those spammy emails that we all get where it's like, hey, I want to try to sell you. And then you could tell that it's just not, it stands out immediately as something that's not written by a person. It's not written really to a person. It just seems like someone's casting a wide net. So that's what your product seems to be solving to me, right? That it helps on the top of the funnel, I guess, this top of the sales funnel, that you're able to connect with people who you're selling to.
Absolutely correct. And as a matter of fact, it's kind of ironic that a lot of the emails we receive today are written by humans, but they sound like a one size fit all machine based email, right? And it's kind of ironic that now we are introducing machines that are going to humanize that whole process of individualizing and writing emails in bulk so that the subject line, Thomas, reads to you, the body of the email addresses you. It resonates with your career objectives, for example. It resonates with how you like to think and analyze. And by doing that, I am already able to establish a rapport with you um, that is very unique and personal, right? And to answer another part of your question, between knowledge bases and knowledge models, the three databases I was describing are actually knowledge models. So one is around the people, the behavioral mindset. Two is around companies, and three is taking your content and your marketing material, your information, and then using a large. When we all of these three knowledge models are vectorized. What that means is a large language model can reach into those, analyze the information very, very quickly and rapidly, and bring that back into a cohesive response in under a few microseconds, right? And so that's the power of AI. And that's what we help you. Our use cases around helping salespeople personalize and um, individualize the sales process. And in doing so, be able to accelerate the whole process and become a partner rather than a seller, right? If I know you and I come across as knowing you and I care about you, I'll give you different sets of information to help you make your decision than sending you the one size fit all emails, right? Which we've
Right.
kind of grown accustomed to, unfortunately.
Yeah. So as a product and as a company, you are doing an actual digital product and not just a service. Is that correct? Cool. And could you tell us about
Absolutely
the
correct. So everything that
tell
we
us
do
about that?
is run on AI. Yeah.
Yeah, and tell us about how a user would interact with your product.
Oh, yeah. So users log into a browser-based product that we have, and they are able to come in and sign up. Usually, this is an enterprise license, so companies have allowed their sales reps to be able to sign on and use this. But individuals can also try it out. They sign up, they select a few companies by either putting in the URL or the name of the company, selecting that company and following it, or they can also look up individuals and they can look, and that's just usually through a first name, last name, and company name. And in the case of an individual, the DISC analysis, this personality assessment will come up. In the case of a company, a whole dossier, as I was saying, which would include news, which would include social media posts by the company, videos, financials, annual reports, all of that will become available within those two dossiers. And then the icing on the cake is that we have an generative AI bot we call Gilroy. And Gilroy, you simply have a communication with. And to make that communication, just like you do with Chat GPT or Gemini, you can put in prompts and it will bring back responses. However, we've gone one step further because our use case is around sales and marketing and helping people understand other people and businesses and help them improve their acumen. One of the things we do is we've created a prompt library. So these are prompts that are pre-written. All you need to do is enter the name of the person, Thomas, for example, enter the name of the company, and it will do the rest, right? So we made it really, really easy. And Gilroy is now the way salespeople gain knowledge. And what used to take them weeks, hours to do can now happen in microseconds. So that's a huge difference. And not only that, think about writing an email, Thomas, right? When you have to write a good email, you need to research the person you're writing to. You need to know about their business. You need to know about what are things that might resonate with them and so on, right? Takes a lot of time, even on LinkedIn and so on. And sometimes you can get it wrong as well, right? And so that's really cumbersome time. And think about that and compare that to XIQ, where XIQ does this in few microseconds, brings you that all that well-researched, well-articulated information together in microseconds. And even if it's not 100%, it's taken you through the writer's block and the research stage of composing that email and brought you to the edit stage, like edit the final draft. And that saves salespeople a lot of time while improving the chances of them connecting with their prospects in a meaningful manner, right?
Now, is being PLG something that you are pursuing for your company? Do you see yourself as having a product that stands out in the marketplace and people pursue it because it's great?
Absolutely, 100%. That is the core mission of the company.
Excellent.
And we are distinct. We are the only, sorry.
No, go ahead. I think we've
we're
got a little bit
distinct
of a
in the
lag.
fact that, yeah, we're distinct in the sense that we bring about AI, generative AI, we bring about real-time market intelligence and behavioral science in one pool that then the large language model can query. And that's what's very unique about us versus anybody else. Second, we go the full end-to-end gambit. We start with demand generation, we go through the stages of qualification, into negotiation, into selling, into client success as well, post-sales. So our platform can support all stages of the customer engagement lifecycle, from first time that you hear of a product all the way till you've bought it and you're getting customer service on it.
That's excellent. So what are your thoughts on, as the market starts developing and as we enter these new further and further phases of AI and people are trying to build similar products down the line, do you have any guiding philosophy on what is going to be sort of the continued differentiator for you, or the way that you'll achieve it, or kind of methods that you're going to do to kind of set it apart and make sure that you're the obvious choice in your field?
Yeah, great question again. So two things on that. Number one, conventional wisdom and proven wisdom will always survive. So in the case of sales, it's always about people, especially in B2B sales. It's about people. People are emotional beings. They're driven by emotions and they like qualification as well. So conventional wisdom will always survive. Second, AI. Challenge every business process. You have to re-engineer your processes for AI. Why? Because with AI and the computational capabilities and the analytical capabilities that AI delivers today, it can help you remove many, many time-consuming steps out of the process, right? So it collapses the timeline from what would happen in weeks to what would happen in seconds and minutes. That's a big differentiator. And when that happens, and that's the economy of time that you have available to you, your arsenal of what you're going to use at what time in your sales engagement changes. Now you can use a fairly precision targeted collateral or piece of communication much earlier in the sales cycle because the effort to create it is a lot less, right? The time to create it is a lot less. So you can go with much more precision targeting. Like even when I make first contact with you, I could mention certain personal things or certain things that would excite you to respond. And what we've seen is that when people have used this tactic, they have been able to increase their open rates by about 40%. So whatever they were getting, 40% more open rates just by having AI and this methodology guide their subject line. Now, once they get into the email, body of the email, that's where it goes really crazy. That's like a 57% click-through rate. So now that I brought you in, I am now able to keep your attention through the body of the email and get you to take action on what I wanted you to take. And these are big, big differentiators and game changers in sales. So the point I'm making is that because of AI, we were able to change our cadence with or sequence with the client. We were able to go much more precise, much more individualized at the very first step and get them engaged earlier. So my pipe is a lot more robust with a lot more people coming in. And then I can take it, use the same methodology throughout the whole sales and buying process and apply my AI and personality at each step to qualify that person to the next step. Does it make sense, Thomas?
Yes, it does make sense. And how big is your team? Is it and what is it comprised of in terms of the breakdown of engineers or sales folks, designers?
Yeah. So our company is about 150 people right now. I would say about 65% of those are engineers, a lot of them in the data science and in the AI, machine learning, LLM space. Um, and I would say we have about 10-15% of those, 10% of those would be in sales at the moment. We're growing our sales as we speak. Um, and then another 10% in marketing, another, I would say, um, the rest would be falling in other design type of roles. We have a lot of emphasis on video and graphics. We really emphasize on user experience as well. So we spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy in design, in UX, in video graphing and communicating with our clients.
What are your thoughts on fostering a culture of innovation and making sure that the people behind the product are motivated and compelled and enabled to create your product to be as special as it should be?
Wow, man, you're hitting every one of those right on the head, nail on the head. That's beautiful. Yeah, so we are absolutely culture of innovation. I pride myself on that. Um, just a little side note, my uh, academic background and my first 10 years, I was an architect, like a building architect. So design and innovation are very deeply embedded within me. Uh, in the company XIQ, if you take me out of the equation, the average age of the employees is below 30. So we are employing a lot of fresh, young, early people. Why? Because we want to bring in that early adoption mind frame. And one of the biggest differentiators, Thomas, believe it or not, is that these younger generation of people are much more open to the idea of how AI can help them. They're not as skeptical as maybe my generation is, or I don't know your generation, but maybe your generation as well. Uh, so that makes life a lot easier because they're already one step ahead in thinking of how to use it rather than questioning whether this thing can work or not, right? So they're one step ahead over there. Second thing is the kind of clientele we have. We have blue chip client. We're doing business and mission critical processes. Sales is the most business and mission critical process a company can have, right? And we're targeting B2B companies. The total net worth, market capitalization of the companies XIQ serves is $4 trillion today, right? So anybody that's working at our company has to be super motivated to be dealing with these big, huge, globally recognized brand names and making sure how our platform and technology is helping that brand name and that technology gain even bigger market capitalization and market share, right? So that's motivation number one. Number two, the kind of technology and the use cases. We're radically transforming B2B selling by this philosophy of looking at how the processes need to be rethought through, how AI needs to be applied. And and that's another big motivation for youngsters to come into the company, bring this extra energy to really be able to see that they're going to create a new horizon. And so very much in favor of a culture of innovation. Everybody has to take pride in the product. At XIQ, for our sales and marketing, we don't use any other product except for our own product. So we we drink the champagne as well, our own champagne, right?
I love how you replace that with dog food. It's yeah, you drink our own champagne. Yes. Um this has been a pleasure. Usman, where can people find you and where's the best place for them to learn about your product and your company?
Yeah. So me, LinkedIn, Usman Sheikh, XIQ, make sure you do that. And I'm the guy in the Bay Area. There might be a few others. Um, and then you can look for XIQ Inc., xiqinc.com. Try our free application, download it. It's pretty amazing. It always gets a wow factor going. And believe me, it will transform. It'll take a lot of stress out of your life, right? Because we're constantly thinking, hey, I needed to do that. I needed to know about this thing. I thought this is what I should know about Thomas before I came in, and so on. And we never get to do it because we don't have time, energy. XIQ changes that, right? It puts you on the front foot. It gets you this information, proactively delivers it to you in little bite sizes that you can actually consume. And they're valuable to you. So that's where you should try us out, xiqinc.com.
Awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck and look forward to seeing where you take things over the coming years. Usman, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thomas, pleasure was all mine.